The Mongolian steppe never forgave weakness. It was a sea of grass, wrapped in silence, broken only by thunder, wind, and hooves. Here, in 1162 AD, a child named Temüjin was born to a minor chieftain of the Borjigin clan. His father, Yasuge, commanded a few hundred riders, enough to be feared, but never secure. His mother Holland was fierce, stolen from another tribe. She'd survived by will alone. Temujin's earliest lessons came from the land itself, that hunger sharpens the mind, and mercy is a luxury for warm countries. He learned to ride before he could read the horizon. A boy on horseback was already half a man. Among nomads, every family was a small nation, every fire a frontier. The steppe was ruled by shifting alliances, sworn brothers today, mortal enemies tomorrow. Still, there were moments of peace. Yasuge believed the boy should learn loyalty early, and forged a childhood pact with another young noble, Jamuk. The two boys swore eternal friendship, mixing their blood in the dust, a sacred andabon. They couldn't know that this oath would one day divide the world. Then destiny struck. When Temüjin was about 9, his father accepted an invitation to drink with allies from a rival tribe. At the feast, they poisoned him. The family lost everything overnight. Flocks scattered, allies vanished, rival clans closed in. Poland gathered her 7 children and fled into the empty plains. For months, they lived on wild roots and frozen berries. Winter bit like steel. Temüjin carried traps through blizzards, his small hands raw from ice. Poverty carved discipline into him, deeper than any teacher could have. If you can't eat, endure, his mother said. The steppe rewards the one who refuses to die. As the snows melted, the family began to rebuild. Temüjin hunted with his brothers, traded small furs for milk, dreamed of the day he would reclaim his father's people. But hardship breeds rivalry. One afternoon, his half-brother Bekter stole from their food stores. In that world, theft threatened survival itself. Temüjin took his bow, aimed without hesitation, and removed the threat. It was a boy's crime and a leader's instinct. Soon, every nearby camp whispered about Holland's dangerous son. Some said he was cursed. Others said he would rule the steppe. One thing was certain: fear follows reputation faster than any horse. A few years later, while hunting wild game, Temüjin was captured by a rival clan, the Temüjin. They bound him to a wooden collar called a kang, dragging him through their camp like an animal. But even in chains, he watched and learned how they kept guard, where their horses were tethered, what pride could blind a man. One night, during a storm, a young guard approached his cage, whether moved by pity or instinct. The boy whispered. Temüjin fled into darkness, the collar biting his shoulders. He waded through freezing rivers, slept among reeds, and finally found his way to his mother's tent. Holland didn't praise or scold him. She only fed him warm milk and said, "Now you know what freedom costs. Never lose it again." That night, he made his vow. The tribes would never enslave his family again. He would unite them instead. He began to gather the overlooked wanderers, orphans, outcast herdsmen. To each, he offered protection in exchange for loyalty. He kept promises and shared spoils equally. The idea was simple but revolutionary. Rank would come from merit, not birth. The steppe had given the boy nothing, except the understanding that if order doesn't exist, you must create it. And somewhere beneath that endless sky, a legend began to move. The wind of the steppe carried change. By his 20s, Temüjin had survived exile, slavery, and starvation. But the real battle lay ahead, taming a land that had never known unity. Every tribe claimed ancient wrongs. Every chief believed only his blood was pure. To them, peace was weakness, and loyalty ended with the next raid. Temüjin, his first act was not conquest, but reform. He began to reward courage instead of heritage. A herder who fought well could outrank a noble who hesitated. Men who had once been enemies found themselves standing shoulder to shoulder. It was a new law in a lawless world, and it worked. As more tribes joined him, deserters whispered a new title behind his back: the one who binds the tribes. But his childhood friend Jamuka heard those whispers too, and jealousy smoldered where brotherhood had once lived. Jamuka declared himself Khan of all Mongols, an open challenge. The steppe split in two. Banners of white for banners of black for Jamukha. Their first battles were brutal and personal. Jamukha's army fought the old way, each clan under its own banner, united only by fury. Temüjin's forces fought as one body. Centuries of chaos met organization for the first time. When the dust settled, Jamukha's warriors lay scattered across the plains. The friend of youth had become the enemy of destiny. Temüjin offered peace, even mercy. Jamukha refused, saying there can be only one sun in the sky. Later, when he was finally captured, he asked for a death without blood, so his soul could travel unbroken. Temüjin granted the wish, honoring their brotherhood even as he ended it. With rivalry buried, he summoned the leaders of every clan to a vast council called the Kurultai. Tens of thousands gathered, a sight the steppe had never known. Fires burned from horizon to horizon. The chiefs debated for days, and then something miraculous happened. They agreed. They lifted Temüjin on a white felt carpet and proclaimed him Genghis Khan, universal ruler. The year was 1206. The Mongol nation was born. Genghis Khan set down Yasa, the Great Law, combining justice and order with merciless discipline. Theft, falsehood, betrayal, all punishable by death. But protection extended to the weak and to messengers. And religion was free for all, under the eternal blue sky, for a people once chained by revenge. This was both shock and revelation. He divided his empire into tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s, creating the first professional army of the steppe. Families belonged to units. Soldiers served under chosen leaders who answered directly to him. No more clan feuds or personal armies, only Mongols. Then he tested his creation on the battlefield. When rival tribes rebelled, his response was lightning. A tumult of 10,000 riders appearing out of nowhere, vanishing like mist when the mission was done. Each success drew more allies, even former foes. Unity through discipline became faith. By the summer of 1206, black tents and white yurts stretched across an empire that did not yet have borders. The once scattered nomads now moved as a single organism, breathing under one law, fighting under one banner. The dream that began beside a dying campfire had become an unstoppable storm. That year, Genghis Khan spoke to his generals. If one man's strength can break a twig, 100 can bend a tree. Together, we will bend the world. The gathering roared its approval. Pilgrims, priests, artisans, all bent the knee to a ruler who promised both justice and war. From that moment, the steppe, long divided by memory, beat with one heart. Beyond the plains, the kingdoms of China and Central Asia slept behind their walls. They had no idea that a new kind of power had been born to challenge them, a power that carried no crown, umber palace, only the endless horizon. From scattered tribes to thunderous armies, his rise changed history forever. But this is only the beginning. Watch part 2 of Genghis Khan, the empire that devoured the world, now on our channel. And if you want the past to keep echoing through time, hit subscribe to Echoes of History.